Guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing something really cool. We're going to take this Blender logo and then transition it to a YouTube logo. How cool is that? Now, this tutorial is going to be absolutely beginner friendly. We're just going to be using some basic shape keys to transition from a Blender logo to a YouTube logo. Sorry, it's gonna be a little bit lengthy. It's gonna take about 15 or 20 minutes to, capture the whole tutorial process. But if you are patient enough and this is what you want to learn, just keep watching. It's not gonna be a waste of time, I promise. First of all, I don't have a reference image, so we're just gonna, use our creative skill and the logo on the screen. So that's enough being said. Let's jump in and have some fun. So basically, we're going to um, select everything in the scene and delete. So go to mesh cylinder. This will be the basis for the Blender logo. So let's tap in and scale on the z-axis like that. I want to go to your front orthographic view and RX90, and it should be facing you like this, right? Now it's gonna be easy, very easy. So what we want to do now is we're gonna make the Blender logo with this. So with our face select option, we're gonna loop select this top face by pressing Shift Alt and then Shift D to duplicate and S to scale it out like that. See, very easy. Now we want to go E to extrude, right click to let go, and then Alt S and then scale along the normals like that to have this extra bit that comes with Blender. If you look at the let's go again, Shift D to duplicate this, S to scale, and then we want to scale like about this much, and then E to extrude, Alt S, and then scale along the normals like that. We're just trying to, get the basic Blender logo shape. So let's select these two top faces, skip the second two, and then select this other two, skip this two, and then select this other two. Just like that. That should give us the shape we're trying to get. So we're going to go to pivot transform and make it individual origins, and transform orientation. We're going to choose normal. Right? That is very important. Now I want to go E to extrude, and we're going to extrude it out like that. Right? Okay, with those faces selected, we're going to toggle on the proportional editing tool, and we are going to go G and then move it something like that. Right? Gonna go S to scale, and we're gonna have to rotate those faces in like that. Just trying to get the basic Blender logo. So gonna rotate it like about that much, and then scale it in like that. Something like that. Okay. Now we're gonna go to our edge select option and select these edges and just try to move it. As a matter of fact, let's just leave it that way actually. So this is the basis for the Blender logo. Sorry about that sound. You can add in some loop cuts here because these loop cuts are going to help with the subdivision surface modifier. It might not make sense right now, but I'll explain later. So Control R, add in some loop cuts, like 3 or 4 cuts should be fine. And when you select this inner part, so we're going to select these faces in wireframe, and what we're going to do is we're going to look at it to be sure we selected the back face, and then we're going to insert this face like about this much, then Shift R 3 times or 4 times to repeat that action. And this is just going to help us with the subdivision surface modifier. So when you press Control 1, it gives you one level of subdivision, which is what I just did. And this is a very basic Blender logo. You could add up the amount of subdivision if you want to, but this is what I'm gonna go with though. Let's select this outer bit, this outer part, Control L, and it to select it for you. If we separate it by selection, there's no point separating it. We're just gonna give them individual, material. So let's just go to the material and go to the base color, and let's make it red, like red, orange, orangey red, something like that, which is the blender basic blender color, was kind of orangey red. Then we'll select this inner part, Control L to select everything, and then add a new material. And we want to go ahead and assign a white material to it. That's the basic, the color that comes by default is white. So select the inner bit, and this one we want to go new and press new, because if you just assign it to be white, so let's give it blue. Blue is the inner color for Blender, so let's give it a darker kind of blue, yeah, something like that, and just assign it. So now we have a basic Blender logo, right? Now we're going to be animating this logo to transition between a Blender logo to a YouTube logo. We're going to be using shape keys to make that happen. It looks like magic, right? But don't worry, we'll get it done in a second. So what we want to do first is toggle off the, or just leave the proportional editing tool actually, and just scale it in like about this much. Yeah, just to get it right. So something like this should be fine. So we're just gonna have to transition from Blender logo to YouTube logo. Now let's get to that. So I want to go Shift A, mesh, and add in a cube. We're gonna use this cube to form the kind of room where all of this action is going to take place, or the backdrop, whatever you call it. So let's just delete that faces, and let's scale it up like that. And we might need to move it up. So we might need to move it, yeah, GZ like that, and toggle off the proportional editing tool. And this is what we have. Now, what we want to do is want to scale on the x-axis. It's not going right because the transform orientation is wrong. So we're going to need to change the transform orientation to global and change the pivot transform to median point. And this is going to help us to scale it on the x-axis properly. So this is what we have. Okay, so let's go ahead and give it a solidify modifier. Just increase the thickness just to have a thick wall, basically, to have everything happen inside of that wall. That's like the backdrop of the wall and the floor. Gonna go shade auto smooth, and that's that about the wall. Now let's go ahead and give it its own material. For now, let's just give it dark, a dark kind of material, but we're gonna change this later though. I'll probably change this later though. So um what we want to do after that is we want to um, set up the transition process between the blender and let's just go to our shape keys, basic, and then let's go to key 1. We want to tap into edit mode, and this is where the magic starts. First of all, we're gonna have to hide the other parts. We're gonna work in with that middle part. So let's go um, Control I to inverse the selection, and then just press H to hide this ones. So let's press H to hide it. Yeah. So we're gonna be working with this. Here to select everything, and we're gonna go scale on the X axis like this, and then scale on the Z axis a little. Yeah. You can as well press Control S Shift Y to scale on the X and Z axis without the Y. So you could do that, or just scale them one after the other. Scale on the Z and then scale on the X. So makes sense, right? Now let's go ahead and transition this logo into a YouTube logo. How do we do this? We're going to turn this. First of all, let's box select this middle part. Let's go ahead and select this part. No, select this part. As a matter of fact, let's just press C. C would help us, select. I think that's a more efficient way to work. So just select, and select like that. And we want to delete this inner face, right? So let's go X and delete face. And this is what we have. Now, this is what we're going to be working with. First of all, how do we convert this into a cube that has inner layers? It's not easy, but let's just try. So what we want to do is we want to select this part, this outer, you know, edge, okay, and we want to let's select it like this outer edge. No, not that. Want to make sure we capture more edges, something like this, yeah. And we want to, deselect these other ones. Let's just press C, then roll the little mouse to reduce it, and then deselect it. So this is what we have. We want to go SX0 to scale it on the X axis by 0. You can mirror this and just, make your work faster, but I'm just going to go one after the other. Just deselect this, and then SX0 scale on the X axis by 0. Makes sense, right? Now let's do the bottom part, something like that. Want to deselect this and this. Want to go SZ0 and then GZ, move it up like about this much. Now we want to do the same at the top side. Want to box select that top and press C and deselect. Okay, I just made a mistake. Let's do it again. Box select that top, press C and deselect this C and holding shift. Actually, you have to hold down shift and deselect this inner bits. Ah, down. We'll have to go again. I'm sorry. Press C and holding shift, deselect. I just mistakenly okay, yeah. I think we have it all selected now. So I want to go SZ0 and then GZ and try to move it down a bit, right? So we're getting the cube shape, right? We're trying to get that cube shape. We'll have to scale this, toggle on the proportional editing tool, and then, kind of scale this out like that. And we want to do the same thing at the other side of the x-axis. Want to scale it out like that. Like I said, you could enable the mirror modifier, to just make your work faster, but this is just what I'm going to go with. So I'm going to select all of this down part again and press C, holding shift to unselect these ones, deselect these ones, deselect this ones, deselect these ones, deselect, deselect it like that. I want to right click and then press SZ0 to just flatten it like that. You guys kind of see where we're going with this, right? We're trying to just, get that box shape, basic, YouTube shape. That's what we're trying to do. If you have a better way to do this, please, I'd like to know in the comment section below. But I'm just trying to go, traditional. like the the way a regular youth 3D artist would do it at first before they learn other ways to get it done. But this is kind of what we're gonna go with. So we're gonna have to go back to our solid mode now, and we're gonna loop select these edges because we need to bridge them. So we're gonna loop select by holding shift. We're gonna press shift alt to select that, and shift alt to select this as well. Control E and bridge edge loop. Sorry about the sound, something fell from my shelf. So actually it was biscuit that fell from my shelf. So we're gonna toggle off that subdivision surface modifier so we can see what we're doing better. So we want to round this circle. We want to round it up. So to do that, first of all, we want the circle to be smaller than this. For the circle to be smaller, we're gonna go. We're gonna press E to extrude S to scale. Oh, we have to toggle off the proportional editing tool. Then E to extrude S to scale, or just scale it in like that. Then we want to go Shift Alt S and then round out that circle like that. Okay, so we're getting somewhere. We just have to fix the middle part now. So I think we're gonna have to go to wireframe mode to get this done. Yeah, in wireframe, we're gonna box select this part and we're gonna go S, X, and 0. Okay, good. This is what we're gonna do for the rest of it. We're gonna box select this side too, and then box select it like that. S, X, and 0, and that's what we have. And then we're gonna box select the top part, S, Z. Sorry, select the top part, S, Z, 0, and that's what we have. We're gonna do the same thing for this. S, Z, 0, and then this is what we have. So our shape is kind of taking the form we want it to. Now, I'm gonna say I'm very, very impressed with the progress so far. What we need to do now is if we go ahead and fill up this space, it's gonna look really weird. So what we could do, let's first of all get it out like that. What we could do to get the YouTube logo, the play logo inside of this box is to add in a new we're gonna have to scale it E to extrude X, S to scale in like that, and we're gonna have to add in a plane, right, and use the plane to make that play